of the things that made me really sad, even though it's animated, is when that little lamb dies. Every time the blood just kind of goes down the altar, and I get really sad when animals get hurt. I'm the kind of person, I'm kind of extreme in a little bit, where I don't go to zoos. I don't like to be in zoos because animals that are captive. I watch Blackfish, and I'm like, yeah, I don't go to SeaWorld, and all kinds of things. And I've been this way for my whole life. And I remember even as a kid, anytime I saw an animal being mistreated or harmed in any way, I always had to do something and stand up for it. And one of the biggest times I remember is when I was about 7 or 8 years old. And my buddies and I around the block were just kind of, thinking about how we wanted to be superheroes, because they had just brought out this product, and you missed it, and I got it when I was a kid. It was called Underoos. And Underoos is an awesome thing in the 70s, where you had a T-shirt that looked like a superhero, and you had this pair of tidy whities that were colored on them, and everybody's buying. Around the block said, the Justice League, let's be superheroes. So their moms take them to get this T-shirt underwear, so they start walking around in their underwear, and they get the best ones. They get Superman, and my other friend gets Batman. Mom, I'm part of the Justice League, please let me get something. Because there was only one small creek near my neighborhood, so I knew that my powers were only good when I was around that creek to summon. And this one home got built under the deck. They had this deck in this cage, and they put a puppy in this cage, and they were kind of moving back and forth, so they kept the puppy. So we're just a superhero meeting put together. So we spend the night. Let's go see what it's doing. Right around the block about 10 at night, we sneak out, and a cop stops us. You're stopped by the badge. We don't have that limit. So he took us back to my friend's parents, and we got really in trouble. But the next day, we put our plan into motion. And so we decided that they weren't putting a lock on it. They were just putting this fastener on it. Wide open. I mean, we're looking, and all of a sudden, there's actually their house had take off running. It's a true story. I just take off running, not even looking at it. We get on our bikes and we just take off because we didn't want to get caught. So we go back to my house and we spend most of the day, and we're excited because we've set that dog that cage. That story, because it was so used to being trapped and so used to being confined that when it was set free, it didn't know what to do. And when we talk about what God has done in our life and why Jesus came, Because of that, that you now can be free. And so as we look at this, why Jesus came, and in fact, there's one important paragraph, but it contains this one verse. God presented Jesus price of atonement through faith in his blood. And what it means for Jesus, it through a bunch of different sculptures. I don't know if you ever go to art. Ones that you look at and it looks like is just unpacked. Think about it. There was so and there was no other way. Verse that Paul has talked, Jesus rose from the dead, and it changed Paul's life. And he says this concept, the old, all this is for, so we know what it's like to have a relationship, and we ministry of reconciliation. Such a big deal. Her mom was correct. Tookie, which means kids. Were sweeping through and coming in a couple. She said, I was cleaning. And she said, and understand, he said, I want you. Goes on and talks about her life. Those things, all these incredible things, simply because someone looked and he touched her. And God, in our brokenness, in our worst, touches our faith. I want you. I want you. Talks about us being in this relational component, and the principle is and I'm telling you right now, and it being he adopts us and he reconciles us. But if you were to stop for a few other viewpoints, I almost said from each other, like Tom and I remember one time coming home. And so I'm going to see this again. Pay each other off. So it was kind of, we're prisoners of war. We're exchanged himself for us as a hostage. And he thinks he's won, but we saw sins. Slave. As a slave has no permanent, you will be free. In Jesus, we have I would go get like a concept in me of what it means deal of the prior for you. People get caught up with who is the what in God it is for you. He was being punished. You will be with me. And all of a sudden he's remember me of the cross, watching every a lot of times people will just say through that it should move. But I'm telling you the whole story because it radically changed. There was a guy who denied Jesus, and Jesus leaving you an example that him who judges just. Jesus died on a suffering that we'll suffer sometimes. temple, but then I find myself because there's idea that and it's the one most we've broken the law. They deserve to be punished. New Testament. This guy who is writing, and he will appear a second. One. No longer have to feel the weight. Free and another. By paying a high price. Example of what that is. Glass, and he had the price, and then he put a pot on. That what it is, and 100% man. God really saying, what? So my thing is this. And we see that the with Jesus. And somebody just pulled me aside and said, "Do you know that someone loves you this much that God said?" In this fraternity, and I was with these guys, and I don't know much about the Bible, but is it Isai? Did I say that right? That's why story is powerful than anything I would ever say. In the Bible, it says, and if we could write a story that Jesus did in your life, that's do this for you because of this. in this. Step in and bring dead things to life. Because Jesus didn't come to make life. My response is this. What do we do? When we realize this? And the first to it, like I always sinned and fallen short of the God who takes away. If you believe in your heart that Jesus, confess with your mouth that Jesus will radically start to be different, and God's Spirit will. That's the deal. Understand that? The second thing I think that we do up about it. In fact, I was out here. Four guys with leprosy. If we go into this, over to the camp. Leprous guys who are unclean. He causes this sound. The army thinks somebody's coming. Get out now, so they just hightail it out. And these starve if we go back there. The worst thing they can do is kill us. Gold and clothes, food, and started to eat it. And then they said to each other this: we're not doing right. This is the day of good news, and we are keeping it to ourselves. We need to go tell the others.